Sad gledaj, evo što ti? Što će ova prošla?
Neko hoće čaj ili nešto može dobiti unutra. Da, i žvake imamo negdje, ali da. So, William, maybe you can ask me this with the light. Thanks so much. Then we all have to stick it up here.
Ima neko ko nema ove papire? Imaš ili nemaš?
Ja da ne.
Još? Treba dva, ne? Čekaj, to je isto. Petsto, nije petsto. To je isto, to je aha, jasno.
Da, vi ste već. Ti hoćeš. Neću pa.
Pass by. Ah, I forgot my bag. You. Samo mogu da prekinem ili... Može. Šta kažeš? Mislim da bi uzeli izjavu, ja da samo prekinem nešto, ne mora da...
Radio. Izvinjavam se na malo kašnjenju, pošto je naš umetnik mora da završi rad. Drago mi je da vas pozdravim. Ovo je drugo veče na kome predstavljamo našeg umetnika iz Velike Britanije, Bena Vilsona, sam navikao sve. Želeo bih samo da napomenem da je gospodin Vilson ovde gost Arhitektonskog fakulteta i Kulturnog centra Rex i da smo imali veliko zadovoljstvo da ga predstavimo široj publici večeras i da je ova 2 dana kako je s nama već radio fantastične stvari u Beogradu. Već njegov prva žvaka koju je radio pre 2 dana u hotelu Izazijali je izvađena i stavljena u vitrinu istog hotela, ali su shvatili da je veliki umetnik od njih. Ispred fakulteta ja se nadam da još postoji žvaka, tako da verovatno ovih nekoliko dela koje će da uradi, nadam se da će ostati za buduće generacije da mogu da pogledaju našeg umetnika. Već 1,5 godina traje pokušaj da uvedemo Vilsona u Beograd i nekako Politikin zabavnik je najavio pre nedelju dana, nekako potpuno slučajno u Ribrijevoj rubrici da postoji umetnik, verovali ili neko u Londonu i slikava žvake. To je bio znak da će on doći i pokazati deo svog rada ovde za vas i za studente arhitekture koji na doktorskim studijama treba da naprave rad inspirisan Benovim žvakama. Ne bih više pričao, on je fantastičan i čovek i umetnik, vidjet ćete ga uskoro, najbolje da on priča. Jedan od naših veza londonskih je Đorđe Vilmazović, član grupe Škart, znate ga većina vas, čija je prijateljica u Londonu bila kontakt za Bena. Ben tamo nema telefon, nema mail i teško je doći, osim na ulici, obožava da razgovara sa ljudima na ulici, ali ne voli telefonom i ne voli da koristi poštu, tako da smo stupili kontakt i ja bih nekako dao reč Žoletu koji ga dugo zna, da kaže nekoliko reči.
Ja ću biti vrlo kratak, samo ću reći nekoliko stvari, kao outsider, neko ko je slučajno naleteo na rad Bena Vilsona na mestu Maswell Hill, kad sam bio u posjeti kod prijateljici i tako smo šetali. Ja sam ugledao te žvake, pitao šta je ovo, on kaže, to je naš Ben. Kako, koji Ben? Kaže, pa on to slika žvake svaki dan. Ja kažem, pa ovo je neverovatno, kaže, da, jesam neverovatno, on je neverovatan čovjek. I ja sam poželao da ga upoznam i onda, pošto ima njegov telefon, govorila i tako sam ja otišao ponovno, upoznao ga i proveli smo onda mnoge sate, čak i dan zajedno dok je on slikao sve, ali ne bih širio dalje priču, nego sam htio samo da kažem zašto ja vidim da je njegov rad izuzetan. Gledajući to sa strane, on će mi ispričati kako je to počeo, pričat će te lične priče koje on beleži, ali tako dok sam razmišljao, jer sam ja sve vreme pitam čemu služi umetnost u životima ljudi, a na neki način u Benovom radu se to najbolje uvideo. On kad slika žvake, što će mi reći, on slika ono što ljudi požele. Dakle, ljudi mu prilaze, on slika i on govore svoje želje, što se i ne vidi na mnogim žvakama. I samim tim što slika ono što ljudi požele, on na neki način već to učestvuje u javnom životu. Druga stvar jeste što ima što ispunjava njihove želje, on je neki način kroničar kraja i zapisuje tu istoriju celog kraja, tako da vi kad šetate Maswell Hillom, sad više i centrom Londona, možete da vidite ko, s kim, kako, ko je kad rođen, umro, devojke, momci, fudbalski klubovi i razne stvari. Treća stvar koja mislim da je njegov rad, kažem, genijalan, jeste što on bukvalno, što naš narod kaže, od govana pravi pitu, ali možda lepše reći, iz đubreta raste cveće, to je onako zanimljivije. On stvarno našao jedan, po meni, onako neverovatan način, perpetuum mobile, izmislio kako da od jednog klasičnog gradskog đubreta da pretvori u lepotu, tako da te žvake ne da nisu onako ogavne kakve ih mi vidimo, nego prosto poželite da ih imate kod kući. Na stranu to što me taj rad podsjetio na našeg prijatelja Mikroba koji je preminuo prošle godine. Stalno sam zamišljao da bi on mogao tako isto da radi. I četvrta stvar koju sam lično prisustvovao i koja je jako vredna u Benovom radu, po meni jeste, jer sam se stavio pored njega jednog dana, kad on legne na pod da slika, to je bukvalno su u pitanju minuti, možda i kraće, da se oko njega sakupljaju ljudi, najčešće to deca koja se vraćaju iz škole sa roditeljima i onda ona im kaže, a mama, tata, eno ga, čuj ga meni, onda priđu Bena i oni svi znaju Bena i javljaju mu se iz kola kad prolaze, otvaraju prozore, viču. Dakle, oni dolaze kod Bena, časkaju za njim, roditelji časkaju međusobno. Tako da on je jedno vrsto onako jednog mesta socijalnog okupljanja na otvoreno. Te se u momentu, bukvalno 10-15 minuta, to je debatni klub, onako od 10-15 ljudi okolo i oni se upoznaju. Ljudi se znaju tako, kao da znamo, ona je majka, upoznali smo se kod Bena, tako videvši Bena. Bena inače slika najčešće u tom fluorescentnom modelu, ovako kakav je umazan, tako on ima to fluorescentnom modelu koja je i protiv kiše i sve radničko, tako da je jako vidljiv neki način. I eto, to su te četiri stvari zbog kojih mislim da je taj rad izuzetan. I završio bi sa jednom rečenicom dok smo razgovarali, kad je on rekao zašto vidi da je umetnost važna, eto ta večna definicija čemu umetnost uopšte služi i kome to treba. I on je rekao jednu fantastičnu rečenicu, rekao je, umetnost je vrsta kreativnog razmišljanja, a kreativno razmišljanje nam pomaže da preživimo. I tako to se meni jako dopalo, tako sam morao tom rečenicom da uvedem Bena u njegovu priču. Sad ćemo ispričati kako je počeo slika žvake i njegovu istoriju.
Well, I've already used one of these before. What's it like if I talk like this?
It's okay.
Can you hear me at the back?
Yes.
Well, it's really good to be here, and I'll start by saying I would go right back to when I was about 6 years old. I was in an infant school, and there was this headmistress that terrorised me. And I remember finding it very hard, like reading, and she'd slap my legs when I could not read a word correctly. And then I was terrified to go to school, and my mum would have to drag me along. So that was my second year. My first year I had a teacher who I thought was absolutely gorgeous. I fell in love with her, but the second teacher, she terrorised me, and from that point on, when I went through the education system, it was this love-hate relationship. And there were many times when I've been dragged and taken to the headmaster's office. And then I had two teachers, an English teacher and an art teacher. This is in my secondary school when I was in my teens. And I would have been expelled if it wasn't for them. And they both gave me space, to explore and go in the direction that I wanted to go. But then when I did an art foundation, and when I ended up there, there was this whole, they wanted you to look at artists and do the work in the style of. And I found that really intrusive. And more and more, I just wanted to explore in my own way, and find my own way. And like I was saying earlier in the other talk that I gave, because what I think is with all of you here as people, you're already there and you're talking about something like special. And then we live in this time and we all we're bombarded by all these images, by the mass media. and we have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. But as individuals, we are people and we all have significance. And the more that we realise that, then we have hope. You know, in a society, there's all kinds of norms for societies, which are positive and negative. And somehow, if you can go beyond those norms, and you'll know when that's happening because you'll be dealing with a sense of fear. And you're a little bit frightened, oh, can I do this? And when I was in the sixth form in school, I remember thinking, I want to work with wood, I love wood, I want to work with wood, and I got scaffolding paint, a big length of wood, and I kind of carried it, and I walked in through the school, and I'm thinking, oh look, what's he doing? Oh, look at that nut there, what's he doing? Oh God, you know, and then I started building like a big wooden relief, but my art teacher was behind me. A lot of the other teachers thought, oh my God, what's going to do? What's he doing? But there was that thing, oh God, what's going to happen? How will people respond? What will the effect be? But again, there was always this kind of like conflict. Again, when I was doing the introductory art course, which is the only art course I did after that I didn't go through an art college. I didn't go through the system. But you see, everyone's different. What works for one person may not work for others. So I'm not going to make any judgments. People find their way of going, exploring the way that they want to explore. It could be cooking, something like that. Person may really love cooking. I mean, I love frying eggs. You know, I love like the everyday. I love making tea. It's nothing like a cup of tea and a slice of cake. You know, it's like fantastic. But let's see, where do we go from here? I was building kind of like various kind of like sculptures, and then the ones in my in the school after I left, they all got pulled down. That was fine. And then I mean, I was excited. About life, and but the norms, certain norms did frighten me, and the structure in the world frightened me. Certain movements, you know, historically, if you look in time, nationalism is quite a frightening movement, and it takes all forms, and then you see genocide and a kind of sadness and a complete people out of touch with their environment and out of touch with people, because there's nothing like nurturing a person or a baby and that sense of connectedness and love and holding, because that's what we need. It's about nurturing. And I found that when I painted that I wanted to go, I worked in woodland areas when I was, say, in my early 20s, and I just went to the areas where I grew up in as a kid. There was a lot of like forest on the edge of London, and I built different sculptures within that environment. But I tried to like listen to the place and work with the place. Often with architecture, you'll find that it's imposed on the environment, but often you'll find that there's organic sculptures which actually are organic, like buildings or even town centres where things evolve and flow over time, and then they reflect the people in the area where they're quite creative. And so it's the caring about the environment. I've found that the more that I worked in these places, that I cared, and then the different people that I met, you know, like through spending time in those places, a relationship grew. You see a person with their dog, or you see like a parent with their child, and it's the kind of like the caring. And it's ideas. I was always told, in the end I was frightened to be able to read in front of people. I was terrified. I was going to a sweat. Because I was frightened, I was almost frightened of words. And I was excited about the spontaneous action, and the power of no idea, because we're conditioned with ideas. This is right, you know. So oh Lord, forgive me, Allah, وسيري لكم وسليه وسلم. There's different traditions, you know. So you have the the Abraham religions, one kind of killing the other. But, you know, maybe there's kind of a certain mysticism where there's kind of like people that explore. It's about expanding one's state of consciousness. It's not about kind of like killing people. Norms, see, we go back to norms in different societies. You know, where people end up being kind of persecuted because they don't fit like within a certain norm. But we're all human beings and we want to be cuddled. There's nothing like a lovely newborn baby with a lovely smooth bottom. I remember when my first child was born, and then the doctor says, Indian doctor said, oh, look at this, lovely bottom. Oh, you know. And different people with different, but there's that kind of sense of we love to cuddle and to hold and to connect and to talk with people and to go to cafes and all these things. And then you've got stupid people saying, you've got to fight in this war. Yes, fight for your country. First World War, you know, we need you. Yes, what happened in the First World War? What did Wilfred Owen and Rupert Brooke, Wilfred Owen, when, senseless people died. Senseless, millions of people died in trenches for no bloody reason. My great Uncle Frankie, he died in the Somme. Why? Bloody senseless. But actually, through interacting with each other, through art, through creative thinking in your immediate environment, you can connect with a tree, with a house, with a person, with a baby. You know, you automatically stroke a cat and it purrs and it cuddles up and have it on your. So it's going beyond the norms, and when you, with your art or with whatever it may be, with an invention. I always go back to say, because I've been the chewing gum man and I've been working for 6 years all over London, if a nuclear bomb does finally drop from all the car fumes that I inhale each day and all the different germs that I absorb, that would be almost like a cockroach that as I evolve, that I'll be able to absorb all the radiation and it would be like Sunday, a beautiful afternoon in my back garden, nice cup of tea, maybe a little beer or something. But no, so shall we go with that? This chewing gum picture was done on the Millennium Bridge, which is like in the middle of London. Oh look, we've got another one here. This picture here, let's stop on this picture. This is St. Paul's Cathedral. And when it's gone. Doctor Who. Someone asked the Doctor Who, some kids asked the Doctor Who on that. Why did I start painting on chewing gum? I started painting on chewing gum because technically it wasn't criminal damage, so police couldn't arrest me. I've been painting on billboards and on the advertising. Well, they had a monopoly over the public space, but I thought, well, I can personalise those images. And I found that, but I got caught by the police, and then I concentrating on chewing gum because I realised, there was also, I felt maybe there was a sense of callousness, and the fact that people actually spit it on the paper shows that really they don't care or they think that their action doesn't have an effect, but it does have an effect, because you can see the cumulative effect of it. And I suppose that's what I'm saying is the cumulative effect of all your actions here tonight and through your lives will be huge. And already, if you think about it, each one of us has been carried in a woman's womb, in our mother's womb. God, that's already affected one person for a start. You can say every little action that you do has effect. And people would, when I say, well, what are you bloody planning on chewing gum for? What's the point? People won't see it. I said, well, that'd be quite interesting if they don't see it, because, but then if they do discover it for themselves, maybe they'll have a different relationship with the picture that's there. But there's so much of it that's in people's faces. If something's more hidden, then people can have their own relationship with it when they encounter it in the streets. And also, if they don't like it, they're within their rights. They can destroy that chewing gum picture. They can kick it off, And that's often what happens if I do love messages for people. Often you find them scraped out. Yes, I said I'd like to declare my love on this piece of chewing gum, and now I hate that person. I destroy you, chewing gum picture. I've seen people trying to destroy it. I said that the technique's too strong, it's too good. They no, do you want me to put something else though? Is there someone else that you love? I'll take that now. Or sometimes I've done a chewing gum picture for a person and the person's gone, I love this person, they're the best person, I love them so much. And then the next thing, a woman comes in, oh, look, I don't have anything to do with that person at all. Can you kind of write, oh yeah, with an arrow? So after put there's one chewing gum, I love you, and then there's, oh yeah. So that, you get so many unbelievable situations. But in the one say, there's nothing really that surprises me, because as far as I'm concerned, I said, well, what's the strangest request that you've ever had? Because actually that's what started happening. When I started working, I was doing a show with pictures. I started in Barnet where I grew up, and I was working into town, going right into London. And then I was just amazed how people can really, they kept on asking, it's my birthday! Or it's this, and then the kids, but often it was like the elderly people, a lot like young people, they were continually asking for pictures, and that was really exciting to see. And now I find that every time I do a picture for a different person, it's almost like making links between people. But that wasn't planned, because that comes out of, again, that power of no idea. It just evolved. I let the things happen. So I was always pleasantly surprised. I thought, what's going to happen next? If it was too planned, it becomes a bit rigid and dead. That's what I find. But also, the technique is something very small, because when you're painting a picture that size, that you'll find that you can keep on layering the paint. And then when I dry it, and I layer it, and then it can change, and I think, oh, I don't know that. And you can start again. Because it is the creative process. With every one of you, you've got your different ideas, and you then put them into practice. I mean, with TSA, between the idea and the reality falls the shadows. The idea and the reality falls the shadow. Because it's like me, there's my hypocrisy, and I laugh at it. I have to laugh at it. But in saying that, I'm not going to be, I am what I am. So I am what I am like this. But it's one thing like talking about doing something, but then bringing it into actually making it actually happen. It's all nice when you're like in a cafe, you're sitting there, oh yes, I'm going to do this, and the next day it's cold and it's raining. Yes, I said I was getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning and it's dark outside. And in London often it rains a lot. And in the winter, it's not like I said, oh, it gets really cold, there's a lot of snow in Belgrade. Like snow, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. No, it's raining. More rain. with that could be anything. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to do it now. So to actually try and bring something into fruition can be quite hard. But actually, with a chewing gum pinch is something very little. You don't expect that much, and then suddenly you get surprised. So I quite enjoy that. On that point, I've suddenly gone kind of like empty, which is good actually, because I have been going very fast with the words. They've been coming out of this little contraption here. And I do like actually just to go down like this. I haven't done, it is good. And just give me a couple of minutes, just like because it is really nice. You've got to enjoy just every day. You've got this feeling that, oh look, is that what we're doing? Yes. That came about because someone did give me a light bulb. A kid gave me a light bulb. It was unbelievable. And then I photographed one about 10 minutes before on an advert, so that was really weird. Yeah, can you draw a light bulb? Can you put a light bulb in the picture? I said, yeah, all right, okay. But yeah, that was the time when I did get arrested, so that was not good. But it doesn't really matter if you do get arrested, because I suppose the person's only doing his job. It's only when the government start doing things which are better out of touch with people on the grassroots level. But we're going to be the people that say, no! No, I'm not going to bloody go and fight a stupid war! Can you see what happened in the First World War, and the Second World War, and the Vietnam War? State murder? No, I'm not going to get involved in that. Bloody hell. I'm going to do art, and I'm a garden. And it's really lovely to have these flowers, and they smell really lovely. No, it is, and that was, I love hyacinths. I will say about one story. I did this person wanted me to do a picture, and I hadn't done it yet, and I thought really, but I will do it because I'm just spending a lot of time doing it. And it's for a person whose son got killed by the dissident IRA in Ireland. And I went to see her, and she lived in Turnpike Lane, and but I was getting some hydrangeas because some people were doing this got fruit in their front garden. Sorry?
The difficulties you have while you work, for instance with police or with the gangs or something.
I just finished this story because it's important, because in the sense that the person kind of what was quite amazing was that when I was walking, the person gave me some hydrangeas, which are these big flowers. And when I arrived at the person's house, she was planting a hydrangea for her son in the back garden. And that was just kind of coincidence. So I think I feel in a way that, in a way, it's almost like fate moves things in a funny sort of way. I'm just like talking off my head, but I do quite feel that somehow, if you have some conviction in something, and you try to bring something in, make it manifest, you can make, hopefully you can have a positive effect. And that's, that to help, quite heavy, but and obviously as far as my dangers go, there's been problems with police on occasions. But actually, in a way, because after the thousands of times I have been, questioned by police, that you'll find that they're just doing their job. And there'll be those that are very supportive, but others that got downside, the wrong side of the bed. Bloody hell, I hate him. Yeah, I'll arrest him. I'll take him in. He's lying on the pavement. I'll come get him. No. You have, but in a way, I don't want to come there was an occasion when I was working in central London, and a man took a running. He ran from behind and he kicked me really hard in the back. And I was really taken aback, really quite a lot of pain as well. And I ran after him and I photographed, kept on photographing him. And he just made a judgment about me and what I was doing. So as always, I suppose it's best not to make judgments about people, just observe over time people's behaviour, but try and understand. But I did, I photographed him and I said, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And he just, I felt sorry for him, because in the end he was putting his hands on his face and he's saying, I didn't do anything, like this. And then I followed him and he went to this pub and there was a bit of loads of guys, and they all like dressed in suits, and they all looked very smart, but I felt really angry that he, I can protect myself and look after myself, but if he felt that I was homeless or something like that, you felt, well, how could you come treat a person in that way? I mean, in one way, sometimes when I'm working, it's a kind of, you're connected with people, but also there's a funny kind of isolation in one sense. I mean, you deal with the physical reality of your existence. For instance, it's really cold, you're doing a picture, it's, not cold like in Belgrade, where you get snow. You get snow and it's really, really cold, but in crisp. Is it a crispy kind of? Is it cold? But is it? We've got like a damp kind of 1, 2, 3. Sleety rain. Damp goes into your bones, so you end up being all numb and kind of like you're slowly dying on the pavement. And then you're cold, and then you need to do a piss. Oh God, go over the top, I must just do this picture. And you find out you focus on the picture. And that does help. You focus on it, and then you don't feel the cold. But then eventually when you finally finish the picture, you get into a warm cafe, you go to the toilet, and you piss up and you try to undo your eyes, and you that's a bit better than cold. And then you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and then you slowly thaw out and feel better. But I do love working, and it's really enjoyable, and I don't know where this is all going to end. Just that it's been nice to talk this evening, and if there's any questions, I'll give you short answers. I'll stop on that point. Well, thank you very much.
decide to paint the first chewing gum? When did you do that?
The first time I painted chewing gum was about 10 years ago, extraordinarily, but it's been about 6.5 years, Monday to Friday. It has, it's like I have my overalls, have my umbrella. At first I couldn't work out how to deal with the rain, but then you found it's often very simple. The answer is very simple. So you, like with the picture, it's the technique of a chewing gum. At first I didn't melt the gum, and then I found that in some of the way it melted. So then I developed the technique in the same way. So in terms of, it's been, 6.5 years I've been working Monday to Friday. Any other questions?
Yes, I have. I have one very stupid question. I'm not sure why I'm interested for. But I guess you're watching chewing gums when you're walking on the street.
Yeah.
So, are there more chewing gums on the floor in Belgrade or not?
Yeah. I've only been to so many areas in Belgrade, but I think there's a lot more chewing gum in London. There are areas where it's like this, but you can, what's fascinating about it is that you can understand the ergonomics, the way people move through the environment. A lot of people, you can see where people have been nonchalantly chewing gum like in the drugs. It's all kids, it's definitely all kids. Well, it's not all kids because you can see where the traffic lights are. There's loads of chewing gum everywhere. So it's everybody. Everyone is chewing well. I don't chew. I do try. People give me it quite a lot. And I can't speak. I do like to talk a lot. Yes? Any other questions? Sorry? How do I pick pictures? It's often related to, I used to go with the shapes, actually. And where they were hidden. At first, when I started walking, they were black and white and very small. And I found as people were excited, and then I started asking them. Then I then started, because I didn't want to impose an image. Because you start to see how people can quantify so much. But then more the pictures reflected aspects of people's lives, and you're reflecting back, to people. But I would ask people, where would you like your picture? You can have your picture anywhere. So I sort of go with the person. But in saying that, I often would like a really quiet place. It's really nice just to set up in a really quiet place. Walking along, and suddenly maybe someone will come out of the house or be a dog walking along. I love birds as well, particularly blackbirds. They're really lovely. I love put that in there. So I think when I was doing sculptures in woods, you work with the place. I did a man and horse in a clearing. And then I then after I finished the man and horse, I found a horseshoe underneath the horse, which is about 250 years old. It's up at the local museum. So somehow you get a feeling like when you're working in it, you make something that can connect. But this is slightly different in terms of that I tend to work with people, and they often will suggest a place. But you get a feeling, I feel my way. But it's also, you're right in the middle of the paper, you're not, so you don't want to let someone to trip over you. That's why this fluorescent jacket for a long time, because people kept on nearly tripping me up if I was in a dark alley, and it was dark, and I let the light here, but they still can really trip up. But anyway, another question? Any question? Doesn't matter. Sorry? About colour? Yeah. Colours?
Yeah.
Well, beauty, colour is so fantastic. You can't beat colour. Colour. This is the multicoloured muffin. How can we kind of see what this is? It's just from ages of adding paint. Yeah, they're acrylic enamels, but they've discontinued them. And this is a chocolate. Made on a cup of tea. The picture's determined by, like you say, it could be destroyed within minutes, or it could last for years and years. I mean, it's really nice to be going through a little quiet road and then you'll come across a picture which is still sort of pristine. I really like that. But also, you'll find there's groups of school kids, they all have photographed with all their mobile phones and then they put pictures on Facebook. And that's really good. Because they're all photographing away. You start seeing how the technology interacts, affects the actual artwork. I have done a lot of self-portraits of people. A self-portrait can take a long time if you get a really good likeness. And then often I'll photograph it, I'll go back home, I'll look at it on the computer, download it. I'm like, no, that's no good. And I have to go back again and go back again, and eventually I'll get a really good likeness. And that's really satisfying if you get something which is this big. One time I did a picture of this guy in this cafe, and then everyone was having hysterics, so I really caught something of him. And it was like it was actually a full life portrait, it was about that big. And that was really nice actually to do that. Sometimes it's like painting in the dark, you can be feeling you're painting with a brush, you can hardly see what you're doing. And I quite like that. It's quite nice just to let things happen and not really know where you're going. But yes, I have done portraits.
Do you have any idea how many of them will you take?
Tens of thousands. But it always goes into different things. Suddenly, you may have someone that wants a picture on their doorstep, or on their wall, or on a brick, or on a badge, or on their shoe, or on their hat, or on their leg. You're thinking, oh, am I getting it right? Oh no! And that could be very particular. Like that could be quite funny. So yeah, tens of thousands, but often a picture can take a number of days, depending on the complexity of the picture. But the technique is useful because again, it's about the exploring, and you can keep on changing and changing and changing. And often I find if I work on a canvas, that I find that it takes longer for that to change. But this is that you can explore really fast with ideas.
And what do you do with Ben?
Sorry?
With Ben, what are you doing with Ben? With fire?
Oh, fire! I use the fire to actually to heat the gum up and to dry the paint off, because if you dry the paint really fast, you can keep them there and there and there. I mean, actually, you can do that with a canvas. You can just get the blowtorch. So sometimes I just burn it. If you get a hole, it doesn't matter. It'll be something else. Or you could set the whole canvas on fire and then go to something else. Chaos and order go hand in hand. So yes, so I use my little burner. My big burner is not here. Well, there we go. It needs some gas, a little more gas. It's usable. Well, because when you layer the paint, you keep them there in the paint. You layer the paint and you layer the paint. So,
task you get in this story?
Well, I don't want to. Yes, a person, he wanted me to a picture for his girlfriend. And and then he said, you wouldn't be able to do that. I suppose he was making a joke. So I did his picture for his girlfriend, but then I put a little tune on which was the going to go next door. Just to see. I mean, it is the back side to it, you know. It's like having a bit of fun as well. You know, so I may can find a person when their bicycle is parked and draw a picture of their bicycle. You don't know whether they're going to see it or not, but their bicycle is chained up again. So it's also just playing and having fun. And the Guernica is kind of quite gestural in its, you know. But it was nice that I thought, well, if I do that, then I'll find out about that painting, and people start telling me all these interesting facts about it. And then often, if you come and do, you know, like I did some writing, which actually, that's for hairdressers. These are early ones. But yes, at one time a person wanted me to write some kind of like Arabic, and it turned out then when I was working in an Arabic area in London, and then I found out actually what the writing meant, and it was a philosopher. And I didn't know, so that you can go, when people give you something, you can find out about it. And also, you're finding out about the person, and you're finding out what people are giving you to draw. That is exciting. Any other? Oh my God. Well, I was being a bit depressed at the time. Anyway, thank you very much.